Alright, I had a question from SuperKernel32 a while back on my 5 Torches Deep review, which read, "Great review." Thank you, by the way. I'm looking forward to trying 5 Torches Deep with my group. Would it be possible to get a copy of your changes? So, the changes they're referring to are the new classes we invented and the rule tweaks we made in our 5 Torches Deep campaign. Well, the day has come, SuperKernel. Let me share some of them with you. Okay, here is our world map, or our area map to be precise. The characters are based in Frickstown, and this world has recently gone through a War of the Gods, which they refer to as the War of Horrors. The gods are powered by believers, and they use champions to wage their war during the War of Horrors. The damage was so severe that magic became unstable, especially in the regions referred to as the Dead Domains. Basically, those who still serve the gods of law are in these areas of the map, and those who serve the gods of chaos like to inhabit the more chaotic areas of the world map, which are the Dead Domains. In the Dead Domains, magic is even more unpredictable than they are in the realms of law, and warped evil monstrosities sometimes try to make their way from the Dead Domains into the domains of law. The cleric guilds of law, working together with the few mages that still exist, have set up watch posts along the border to guard against these incursions. I tell you this to give you a little bit of a framework for our changes. Takeaway, magic in general is rare, distrusted, feared, and dangerous. Because gods play such a prominent role in the world, one of my players, Alhana, created a whole list of deities to start with. However, I also encourage my players to come up with their own because I want to have a collaborative world. I want them to play characters that are interesting to them and who help push the narrative forward. Second, we have race rule changes. In 5 Torches Deep, the rules as written are very prohibitive for anyone wanting to play a non-human race. I'm assuming that's because the creator wanted worlds to have mostly human populations and other races to be rare. We didn't much like that idea, and we changed those rules. Humans still have the most flexible die rolls, because other races have to put their highest rolls into certain stats. Dwarves, elves, and halflings also only get to roll 3d6 and discard their lowest die, as opposed to humans who can roll 4d6 and discard their lowest die. As a bit of a counter, we gave them +4 to their racial rolls, and if they don't reach 15, they get 15. Third, we changed the death or dying rules. In 5 Torches as written, once you reach 0 hit points, you are incapacitated, and if not stabilized within 1 minute, you die. If you're reduced to below 0 hit points, you're dead. In our game, we softened that a tad so that if you're reduced to 0 or fewer hit points, you lose 1d6 hit points per round as you bleed out, and you can crawl 5 feet per round. Once you reach a negative number equal to your constitution, you die. If you receive healing before you bleed out, you automatically start at 1 hit point. You can also suffer some sort of negative effect, such as a scar or limp, as a consequence of being damaged so badly. Fourth, we tweaked classes or archetypes. Instead of having to wait till 3rd level to pick an archetype, players can pick an ability off the list at 1st level. We wanted to do this because it offers a way for players to differentiate between the characters of the same class. In our game, you can pick from the list of skills at 1st, 3rd, and 7th levels. And Alhana and I also created our own classes and encourage players to make their own if it makes sense, and is balanced with the rest of the classes currently in the game. We created a new class for each of the archetypes, so 1 for mages, 1 for thieves, 1 for warriors, and 1 for zealots. For mages, we created the blood mage, who uses their own blood to fuel their magic. They're basically the tank class in the magic user category, since they're able to start with more hit points than regular mages, because they need to literally damage themselves in order to fuel their spellcasting ability. Using their own blood, if they choose the ability, they can heal another party member, repair weapons and armor, or start with increased hit points. They're also able to resist intimidation or fear. For the zealot, we created the Inquisitor, which seemed like a natural choice in our world, where the gods have a lot of sway, and so does the Cleric and Mages Guild. The Inquisitor can sense magic, detect when someone is lying to them, channel divine energy into their weapons, and track their quarry. For warriors, we created a shield warrior who uses their shield both to defend and as a weapon. They're able to protect their companions, hit enemies proficiently with their shields, taunt, and shrug off damage that might reduce them to negative hit points. None of my players have played this character yet, but it has a unique feel that I think would be fun to play. For the thieves, we have the Spelljammer class. Basically, they're the assassins in our world. They usually work for noble houses and are sent out to assassinate magic users who are acting recklessly. They're also often hired by nobles for protection against magical threats. They're able to, like their title reflects, jam spells. They can also silence magic users and sense magic. Overall, I think they're an interesting addition to our world. Last but not least, we changed the spell failure rules a bit. If a Zealot class character rolls a natural 1 when casting a divine spell, they roll a d8 and one of these conditions affect them. The cleric in our game actually had to do the perilous quest, and it was, in my opinion, one of my favorite sessions of all time. They ended up putting their very soul on the line against the ghost. He was successful and was given additional information that helped the party defeat the mechanical monstrosity that guarded a jewel sacred to the cleric's deity. It also happened to be powering the metal golem, so there was that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wouldn't want it to become an every time they roll a natural 1 thing, but used sparingly, it was great. If they rolled a natural 1 again the next session, I'd let them re-roll. If it had been a while since they had to do the special quest, I'd create another for them. For mages, I've been poaching some of the Dungeon Crawl Classic spells. An example should be on screen now. Mages must roll a DC 10 plus the level of the spell, using a D20 plus their intelligence modifier plus their proficiency bonus. They don't roll this for cantrips. If they fail, they take a misfire. If they roll a natural 1, they take a misfire and a corruption. However, they can cast as many spells as they have, and can even attempt higher level spells because they'd just be harder to cast because of their higher DC. Plus, the power of the spell increases the higher they roll. In order to cast a spell, they must find it in the world, study it, and have a guild tattoo artist tattoo it on their skin for a hefty price in gold, which can also fail if I roll a natural 1 when the tattoo is being done. To give you an idea of the price, it's 250 gold pieces for a cantrip, 500 for a first level spell, and 1,000 for a third level spell. Magic users can be insanely powerful, but also insanely dangerous to themselves and their party. They use their magic sparingly, but when they're successful, they can change the whole course of a battle. I'll also be creating new spells for the campaign as we progress. So that's most of the changes we've made. Shout out to my players who are awesome and make each session so much fun. If you're currently playing 5 Torches Deep and like any of these changes, feel free to cannibalize them and use them in your campaign. If you like this video, it would help this channel out immensely if you were to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks for watching.